Hey y'all, hey. It's your girl, Dr. Joy Chestnut, coming to you live from the playground. I'm swinging on a chair. I'm in a beautiful playground, swinging on a chair. Left work early today to treat myself to some ice cream, some frozen custard. Drove all the way over 25-minute drive to come to this park and to have ice cream. Little self-care for today, because you have to know how to take care of yourself. Self-care doesn't always have to be in the form of spending money for pedicures and massages, even though I do all of that. I love pedicures. I do it as a lifestyle, not for vanity. And I love massages. But you don't always have to spend a lot of money for self-care. It could just be some quiet time, some meditation, a hot bath, a walk in the park, a swing on a swing in the park, or it could be some ice cream, whatever it is that makes you feel good. And I know everybody is trying to get COVID weight off and watching their waist, but deprivation is not the way you want to do that. If you want to have some ice cream, go on and have some ice cream. Spend 10 to 20 minutes longer on the treadmill, that's all, or on your walking path. I can't walk today because I have tendonitis in my foot and it's acting up. But just wanted to come on and check in and say, thankful Thursday, that I'm thankful for having this time to do a little self-care for myself. Just sorting some things out in my head about moves I want to make, things I want to do, working through challenges in my life like everybody else, being all of me every day, all day, not afraid to say who I am. If you step on my feet, I say, ouch, it hurts. When it feel good, I say it feel good. When it don't, I say it don't. And just comfortable in my skin being me, knowing who I am, knowing what I'm willing to take and what I'm not willing to take. And, some people who are like myself, who speak their truth, who live their truth, people will be labeling us, right? Difficult or BI. I don't really care about that, because if you're the kindest person, they'll call you soft and a wimp. I just know who I am. I'm so grateful to really know who I am and be in touch with who I am. I'm like so sure about myself. Even when I'm overweight, or I don't like the way this looks or that looks, I can accept it if I can't change it, and I can change it if I can't accept it, if it's something changeable. I'm not going to cut myself or do anything like that as far as getting surgeries and stuff. I'm not knocking anybody who chooses to do that. That's not going to be my choice, just because of my medical problems. But I don't knock anybody who do it, because it's your choice to do what it is that will make you feel good and happy with your inner self. And your inner self is what's more important than anybody. I see so many people fixing themselves out on the outside, hair looking tight, nails done, hair done, just fly, but tore up on the inside. And I like nice clothes. I like my hair done. I always have my hair done. Any of y'all who know me know the hair stay on point for most part. I like my hair done. I love pedicures. I do that for a lifestyle. I don't do it for vanity. It's a lifestyle for me. I like my feet soft and taken care of. I don't do acrylic nails and stuff since the pandemic, but I still get manicures. And so I do like that stuff, but really I like more, it's more important to me to be transparent with, have people around me that I can be transparent with. And even if there's nobody around me to be transparent with, being able to be real with myself. When something doesn't make me happy, saying it and changing it if I need to, addressing it. And if a person doesn't make me happy, being able to go to that person, whether it's on your job, your relationship, your husband, your wife, your friends, and saying, hey, when you do this, it don't make me feel good. And in fact, I want you to stop doing it. And if you don't, this is what the consequence is going to be. Me and you going to go our separate ways. You're going to do you and I'm going to do me. And being able to just stand for what you stand for, so you don't fall for just anything. And I shared some things on a video last week about, being in a relationship and struggling, and getting to know people at a deeper level once you move in with them. And it may not be the same person that you originally started dating. Before you moved in, things were different. And then you get to know people in their real essence of their self when you're in their environment, or in the environment where they let their guard down and you have to let yours down. And if you're in a situation and you're uncomfortable, you can do one or two things. You can stay and be quiet and keep your mouth shut and don't tell anybody because you want it to look good. Or you can say something first to yourself, be honest with yourself, and then deal with and confront that person and say, hey, this don't work for me. And you don't have to look for instant success, just instant progress. I don't expect you to change overnight, especially when we're older. The habits that we had them for 20 or 30 years. So you can't get rid of them in a year or 6 months. But you can certainly show a person that you're attempting to not do that thing that hurts or annoys or bothers them or makes them uncomfortable. You can do small things. You can have small behavior changes. So I stand by for that because I am married and I want my marriage to work. But I know and understand that I can't do that by myself. So I have to constantly be in dialogue with my husband, constantly be in prayer with God, asking him to direct and guide our path, to change me to what he would have me to be able to understand and follow him, and to change him for what he needs to be, for me to understand, for him to understand and follow God. Because he's not following me, he's following God. I'm following God in him. That's the way it should be. But in order for me to follow him, he got to be going in the right direction. He got to be doing something that makes sense to me. Because as I said, I know who I am and I'm a strong woman of God. So I don't have a problem. My strength is not weakened by submitting to my husband, not in any form or fashion. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I have a problem with submitting to foolishness I have a problem with working under a simple-minded, don't know what you're doing manager. I don't really say boss because ain't nobody the boss of me but God. But a manager that is over me, that don't know what they're doing and makes stupid decisions. I have a hard time with that. I'll either leave the job or avoid you as much as possible and try to do as much as I can on my own so I don't have to talk to you. But it's the same in a relationship, in a marriage relationship. I can follow my man or my husband if he's leading right. I can follow. I can submit because I can submit to God. I have enough humility. I'm humble enough and I have enough wisdom to know to do that. But I can't submit to foolishness, and I will not submit to foolishness, and you shouldn't either. So I was just coming on to, talk a little bit and say that I'm enjoying my Thursday afternoon. It's a little sun out, and even though I can't be at the beach because I'm not traveling just yet as far as going, out of the country, which I would have gone by now, I'm sure. But I can come out and get a little sun and swing on this wonderful swing. Y'all see the swing? I love it. Y'all see it? It's a swing in the park, and I'll give you of the park. Beautiful park. Beautiful day out. It's got a walking path, and I like to walk, but my foot is bothering me today because my tendonitis is acting up, so I decided to just swing instead. But yeah, just wanted to come on and just check in with y'all and do an update and say I'm still strong, I'm still standing, I'm still loving God, I'm still willing and able. My mind is still in its right place, my heart is still in its right place. I still know who I am and what I'm doing regardless of what situation I am ever in, and I still know what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do regardless. And it's just a beautiful thing to be in touch with your inner self, to know who you are. I know so many people, women and men alike, who are just looking for something to be a part of, just would get in where they fit in with anybody. Don't have a standard, don't have any standard that they stand by, don't have any rules of engagement with themselves and others. Will just let somebody tell them anything, will just go anywhere with anybody. And if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So you got to stand for what you stand for. Sometimes when you are that person, people label us. They say we're difficult or we're BI. But you can't be concerned with that, because if you don't stand for something and you're too soft, they call you soft and a wimp, right? And you're weak. So the only label you need to be worried about is the label God put on you. Blessed, anointed woman of God. And you need to walk in that. And when you blessed and anointed, God ain't going to want you in no situation where you being treated unfairly, where you being treated wrong. Not unless there's a lesson there, but he's not going to keep you there for an unknown period of time with no way of escape. That's not God. He always makes a way of escape for every situation. And one other thing, God always gives us signs. So some of the situations we find ourselves in is because we've ignored signs that we've seen. Yep. We seen stuff and we rationalized it, or let somebody talk us out of what we seen, or overlooked it. Why? Because we wanted to please our flesh in one way or another, or we wanted to believe something different. Sometimes it's because we really are innocently wanting to see the best in people, but you got to call a spade and, see things for what they are. And then decide what you can do or how much of what you see in front of you you can live with. You got to decide what you can live with and what you can't live without. And for me, I can't live without peace. I don't care what house it's in, what car you got, what money you have. Me, I've been a hustler all my life. I don't know nothing else. I'm an entrepreneur spirit, and I've been a hustler all my life. Since I was 13, 14 years old, I've been hustling. So I know how to go out there and get my own money. I know how to go out there and get the things that I want. I don't covet what nobody else have. I've never been the type to look at other people and prey on what they got, or be jealous. I never had to do that because my heart's desires were always on what I wanted, not what other people wanted. I always had my own taste, my own style, and so I always knew what I want and who I am and how to go get what I want. So I never had to just settle for anybody just giving me anything and treating me any kind of way. And at 53 years old, I'm not about to do that now. I can decide to stay in something, to try to use my wisdom, because there's a fine line of wisdom, especially when it comes to relationships and especially when it comes to marriages. And that line of wisdom is knowing two things: not to stay too long or not to leave too soon. See, sometimes you leave something too soon. As soon as you leave, the blessing come over it, and somebody else be enjoying your blessing. You be done fix the car up and put a whole bunch of money in it and get frustrated with it and sell it to somebody for less than it's worth, and then they get it and it was one thing really wrong, and then it be running good for the next 10 years, and now you in a new car. No. Or in a relationship with somebody that just need a little nurture, need to grow, need to develop a little bit more, and you frustrated and leave too soon, and then they really are what God wanted for you, or really grow and develop into something good, and just may not have been good for you at the time. And you got to know the wisdom of not staying too long with somebody that you are trying to work with, you're trying to grow with and develop with, and they ain't making no instant progress, so they ain't making no success at all. They're not changing. They continuously do things that you ask them not to do, that you tell them that bothers you, that you let them know make you uncomfortable, and they continue in the behavior over and over again. Those people are not worth staying with, because they have made a decision that what you need and what's important to you is not important to them. And in those situations, it's time to bounce. But as I said, it's a fine line of wisdom of knowing how long to stick around to see if this is what the case is. And I'm just learning myself, because I had been married in a long time, been single for a long time. But just going through the marriage chronicles, trying to figure it all out and keep my sanity while I'm doing it. I was on the phone with my nephew today, and he said, "How's Dion doing?" And I said, depends on what day you ask me. And we laughed about it, because he said that's what relationships do. Yeah, that's what they do. Especially when you married and you living in a house with somebody, and y'all, got to live with each other and look at each other every day. It's a daily struggle to see past their faults and for them to see past your faults. Daily forgiveness and just daily communication. It's just a lot of work that goes into it. It ain't no easy thing. So I commend the folks out there that been together for a long time, whether whatever your situation is, because as I said before, everybody that stayed together for a long time didn't do it happy, and some people still together and ain't happy. I'm praying that don't have to be me. If I'm going to go through something, I would love to be on the other side of it and have a testimony later how it was rough and tough and struggles and trials and tribulations, but be on the other side where communication is good, joy is there, stability is there, emotional stability, financial stability, safety, being able to talk and communicate with one another, being emotionally available for one another, caring about what each other care about, solving problems quickly, learning good coping skills. I wouldn't want to stick around and stay and 5 years later you still going through the same exact things. I just can't do that. And I ain't knocking nobody who can, but I know that I can't. So I'm praying that's not for me. But anyways, y'all, this is my 15 minutes of faith. It's Thankful Thursday. I'm thankful in this swing. And I hope y'all are having a blessed day. Until we speak again,